adjust myself.
Hello, everyone, to episode 112, deep into the meta. I hope you can get that title pretty easily with what we're going to be discussing in this episode. But luckily that Chad blessed us with this Friday night. Normally we do this Thursday night, but I think for me, it was just like a long work week. I didn't feel like staying up on a Thursday, push it to Friday, and cutting into Chad's link time.
Yeah, I was spent yesterday evening at the softball field. So out in the hot 88-degree sun. So I was ready to come home, and the mountains were blue last night, and I was like, man, I could just go to sleep. I didn't even stay up to watch the Suns get finished off last night.
So Chad, how's
playing
Tears of the
Zelda
Kingdom
right now? I'm sure.
Literally right now. It was, dude, I was playing some Guardian Games nonsense up until the buzzer happened. 9 o'clock my time, Pacific time. And I just have to get like maybe 5 more platinum medals done, and then I'm done completely. I got my Gambit gilding done. I got my Deadeye gilding done. I already have Reveler. And then I will have my gilding for Guardian Games done. I don't care about the ornaments because the weapon's a glaive. I really do not care whatsoever. So I'm not going for round 2s on that.
You can buy it from the kiosk, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry.
So it don't matter. I'm not gonna
Couple
buy
extra ash shards.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's it. I might have to play one more one more legend battleground, and then I'll have all the seasonal challenges done to get to the big drop. Like doing one legend battleground will give me enough seasonal challenges to get the final one done. So that's all I need. Couple platinum medals and it's legend battleground. Call it a day. But it's been an interesting 24 hours here.
Did you work today?
Yeah, I did. I literally got home, showered, did stuff, and then when I said I was ready, I just sat down, turned the computer on, and then started playing and waiting for you guys. Like, That was it.
I got you.
Yep.
All right. We ready to start the real thing here?
Yeah, hold on. Might as well give it one of these.
Everybody, I'm gonna click the button. Oh, here comes a train. Well, wait. Hold on. As soon as I said I'm gonna click the button, I hear. Wah. These trains are just obnoxious.
Yeah.
Not as quite as obnoxious as the fire station siren that goes off 3 times. But all right, clicking the button. Eyes up, Guardians. We are live for episode 112 of the Gilded Conqueror's Corner. Today is Friday, May the 12th, and I'm the Destiny bad boy, NotRyanFox, have returned with my fire team, who all of you CCBs know by now. Jared?
Yeah, when it comes to getting seasonal challenges done and being prepared for next season, I am slacking, and apparently I'm quite a bit behind Chad.
And the chronicler himself, chadocero.
I've gotten I'm almost challenge done, and I got all my bounties stacked, so I am prepared and ready to go.
And remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget you can take us on the road via Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast services. Make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, click the bell, turn on notifications, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod. Send us a bunch of friend requests so we can play a game together. Sam brought us the TWAB this week, but before we get into the TWAB, let's listen to our intro music, who is brought to you by @LinkOfTimeG on Twitter.
Welcome. You are listening to Conqueror's Corner, a Destiny podcast.
Wow. So, Fox just
Surprise!
just dropped that on us. Okay.
Okay, so new intro music there, obviously. Shout out to Link, thank you. Another surprise coming next week, so just stay tuned for that.
All right, so Bungie for us this week put out 2 articles, the TWAB and the Season 21 Exotic Armor Tuning Preview. So we're going to do the Armor Tuning Preview first, and then the TWAB. You know, whenever they put out a big media article before the TWAB, you know the TWAB's going to be a little bit on the lighter end. And I think that I kind of like this because they go in more depth, I feel like, of these separate articles of what they want to tell to the players. So just a quick note before we get started is that unless called out, the following changes leave the rest of the exotics benefit intact. So, all right, just building on to what we got. First up, we're going to go Hunter, and that's going to be Arthur's Embrace. So it's going to be gained additional strength while the exotics weighted knife damage bonus is active. So basically, you just get like, was it Pugilist, Pugilist, or whatever it is. You're basically getting that built in.
Pugilist.
Okay.
Pugilist.
Oathkeeper, when fully drawn, bows gain a bonus damage against combatants that increases as you hold the draw, but deactivates after a few seconds. So there's only 2 combatants, so I don't think this is going to be better in PvP. But all the bowmains out there, I guess, is overall buff to Oathkeeper. Why'd you harness?
I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that was going to make a Monarch a one-shot in PvP, but I just assumed they didn't understand the Bungie lingo of combatants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's a good way to show you're like a newer player. So
I'd almost say more of a casual than even a newer player. You know, clearly don't listen to us.
You might have more followers than we do, but we don't care about that.
All right, Raju's Harness. When deactivating your Arc Staff super, you create a blinding explosion that temporarily increases your arc weapon damage. However, blocking with the guard no longer does not consume super energy. So probably a net negative here. Don't see me using this for any reason at all. Radiant Dance Machines kills while your free dodge is active. Extend the duration of free dodging. No longer deactivates when you get too far away from enemies. Deactivates after using Suspending Slam. Okay, we'll see if these really take off. I think that's too much work than anything else for these. They're basically built for you to use the created orb after a dodge when you use your class ability. Next is the big one, Stompies. Remove the airborne effectiveness penalties. You only gained increased speed, slide distance, and improved jumping while your dodge is at full energy. For all you Destiny bad boys that listen to us, I called this out, I think, 100 episodes ago, that it just needs to be a cost for moving super fast. And the cost is you can't just spam that dodge whenever you have it up. You have to keep that dodge energy full.
And whenever I hopped on Twitter, it seemed like the sky was falling on this. Man, people were absolutely losing it on there. So I I was very surprised that the Destiny community would be outraged over something like that. It was just the biggest surprise I've ever seen.
This is a buff to Stompies. I don't know what they're so upset about. It's a buff. I'd never use them in PvP because of the minus 50 AE.
Yeah, because its whole point was to be in the air.
Yeah.
So them completely dropping the AE was like, well, that's the opposite of what I wanted.
Yeah. It's awesome. All right, Master Bacchus. Change to use a tier 4 non-stacking weapon damage bonus. So that's whenever you slow a target and then use your dodge away. This is only a 6% bonus in PvP, and it doesn't stack with surge mods, but it will still provide bonus damage with like Inner Radiance. It's not multiplicative; it is additive at that point. So you're gonna see this tier 4 non-weapon stacking later on with these exotic reworks.
Yep. All right, moving on to the Punchy Boys. First off, we're going to talk about Point Contact Cannon Brace. So it is an exotic that uses the Thunderclap, essentially, and it adjusts that. It does some extra bonus to that. But what it's doing now is lightning strikes now jolt targets, increasing PvE damage per lightning bolt from 50 to 200. Being amplified now increases the damage of the lightning strikes by 50% instead of extending their range. So basically anything within that cone that gets hit by a lightning bolt gets 4 times damage what it used to be, and being amplified increases that damage further. So launching thunderclaps into a group and not killing anything on the fringes is actually a good thing in PvE now with this thing. No backup plans, just a complete rework to just so forget whatever it did previously. It's going to be similar, but just complete rework. They're replacing the old functionality entirely. Now provides a moderate benefit to airborne effectiveness and reload speed of shotguns. While you have a Void Overshield, shotguns deal additional damage, and shotgun final blows refresh the overshield. While using Void subclass, rapid shotgun final blows, or defeating powerful enemies with shotguns grants you Void Overshield and kicks off health regen. It's really sad that the armor glows with each subclass color now because it's only really useful for Void. But oh well. Second Chance. Shield Throw melee now weakens enemies. Stunning a barrier champ with your Shield Throw melee grants a single full melee charge. So that's the one that gives you an extra Shield Throw.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. It's now something that you can at least have some fun with, get some melee kills and stuff. Strongholds. That's what I'm talking about.
It's going to be like the pair with that. It's going to be really well.
Yeah. Because then you can just weaken things and then just stack the charge.
Yep.
Stronghold, the boys that I've been using for a long time. Some of my favorite exotics. Nobody else liked it. They replaced the healing from blocking precisely with significant damage reduction while blocking. When you stop blocking, gain restoration ×2 with a duration that increases based on the number of shots you blocked. So their original heal on the perfect guard mechanic, they didn't really like it. It was a bit too finicky to use. It broke off gameplay. So now just blocking reduces damage, and then when you stop, you gain restoration. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun with Lament. They just gave us back the Titan Sword, the Throne Cleaver, and that's a solar as well now too. So it's gonna be some smashing happening for me next season. I already have strongholds loaded up on my Titan, ready to go. Eternal Warrior helmet that most people forgot about. Rapid takedowns with an arc weapon grants an escalating damage bonus to arc weapon damage using the same non-stacking damage bonuses used by Surge mods. This can go all the way up to tier 4 damage, granting damage bonuses of 25% in PvE and 6% in PvP. So giving you a larger bonus that could be achieved with 3 Surge mods equipped. While at tier 4 damage bonus, arc kills refresh the duration, and after Fist of Havoc ends, you gain a tier 4 damage bonus. So getting a kill refreshes it. Popping out of super gives you that damage bonus right off the rip. So if you miss a guy and he's running, you have that bonus going so you're ready to kill him and shoot him in the back. This on Arc is going to be fun. I haven't played a lot of Arc because of what they did to the storm grenades on my Titan, but there's a lot of fun Arc weapons out there. So giving them just using this, you can basically don't have to run Arc Surge mods on the Titans. You can run other stuff. So that's good. That'll let you do a little bit more building there. Kepri's Horn, the solar damage wave now scorches targets. Path of Burning Steps. Changed to use non-stacking weapon damage bonuses used by surge mods. This can go all the way up to tier 4 damage, granting a damage of 25% and 6% PvP. Providing a larger bonus can be achieved with 3 surge mods equipped. So similar to what happened with the arc weapons earlier. While in a tier 4 damage bonus, solar kills refresh the duration. Becoming encased immediately grants you a tier 4 damage bonus. So very similar. Solar weapons kind of letting you lean into subclass typing there. Dune Marchers. They reduce the range of the chain damage from 20 meters to 12 meters. Damage from 85 to 50. So it's no longer going to be nearly as oppressive as it used to be. You feel like you're just getting absolutely smacked by lightning out of nowhere. So now it'll be a little bit easier to spot and the damage won't be as significant. Big change. I have been zapped couple times. I don't play as much PvP as Jared does at higher levels, so I don't get zapped very often. But it is super annoying when you do. So happy to see that getting toned down.
All right, on to the Warlocks. Vesper Radius. Rifts emit arc shockwave every 5 seconds that deals damage 200 in PvE and 70 in PvP. Enemies defeated by these shockwaves explode for an additional 100 damage. And if you have an arc subclass equipped, it also blinds nearby enemies. Kind of mid. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, I don't know when you would ever use that in anything that actually matters. Chromatic Fire, increased radius and damage of the explosion created by precision kinetic takedowns. The explosion also applies a status effect to targets damaged by it, depending on which subclass you have equipped. Arc, Blind, Solar Scorch, Stasis, Slow, Strand, Sever, and Void Weaken. That could be interesting. More of like a add clear raid encounter situation. Dawn Chorus, Daybreak, projectiles damage bonus has been increased and no longer reliant on the enemy being scorched. Sanguine Alchemy, standing in a rift grants a non-stacking bonus to weapon damage, matching your subclass damage type. This damage bonus is the equivalent of 2 surge leg mods. So that's 17% increased damage in PvE and 4.5% in PvP. Interesting. I just wish that they stacked. If they stacked, it would be much more interesting, in my opinion. Claws of Ahamkara. Powered melee kills create an orb. When heavy-handed mods are equipped, it increases the potency of the orb spawned. No more than 1 orb can be spawned per enemy takedown. Then we got a dev commentary on that says this exotic uses the same perk as heavy-handed and stacks with the mod should you choose to equip it. Man, I'm going to ask you guys on this. Am I dumb to just assume that all orbs are created equal?
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize that there were more potent orbs than others.
Yeah. There's like big boy orbs and little boy orbs. That happened a little while ago. So you're not. My gut reaction was to immediately say yes before you kept your sentence going.
When I just said, "Am I dumb?"
That's like a dumbass.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things like when they made the chains, I'm like, I think I even made a comment. I'm like, why are these orbs so little? Because what they did is they added little orbs. I can't remember when. This was so long. This was years ago. Like it's been this way for such a long time. You probably totally forgot about it. But there are little orbs and big orbs.
So this is like a yellow bar, orange bar situation. Like they're not different enough to be able to.
It's barely a difference. You got to be like staring at them both side by side to pay attention.
Yeah. Listen, I'm speaking for the common man out here. So fucking dorks acting like it's a dumb thing to ask. Mano of Battle Harmony. Weapon bonus damage changed to tier 4 when super is fully charged, increasing the damage bonus in PvE from 20% to 25%, and reducing the damage bonus from 15% to 6% in PvP. No longer stacks with surge leg armor mods, but provides a larger bonus that can be achieved when 3 are equipped. Blah, 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 blah. This just seems like a lot of work and way more thought than I care to put into it than what it's worth. Ophidian aspects remove the extended melee range. I know there's a lot of PvP people that are going to be happy about that hate the melee range differences and things. Dev commentary states that it created some strange situations where a player's melee launcher would cause them to flicker in high latency scenarios. So I don't know. That's crazy. Prometheum Spur is a exotic that looks cool, but I don't think I've ever equipped it. But it grants Rift energy for any solar weapon takedown, with more energy granted for solar weapon takedowns while also standing in a Rift. You now have to be standing in a Rift when you get the final blow for the exotic to consume your class ability energy and create a Rift at the target's location. So just to make sure I understand this right, since I'm the dumbass of the three of us. So if you're standing in a Rift and you get a final blow, it consumes the class ability energy that you have and creates a Rift where the dead guy is now.
Yeah.
Why would you ever not want to control where your Rift is?
So you have to start it out by putting a rift down, and then another one will spawn out if you're getting a kill while in the rift.
Right. So can you have, how many rifts does the game allow you to hold at once before it just absolutely dies and throws an error code at you?
Yeah, I don't know about that. At least 6.
Yeah, like if we go to the throwaway and I stand in a rift and just mow everybody down, how many rifts can you put down before it starts erasing rifts? So that'll be interesting. I'm interested to see that. And everybody get your drinks out. Get ready to pour one out here. Starfire Protocol. Reduce the amount of energy gained per instance of damage from 20% to 2.5%. Empowered weapon kills now grant 20% grenade energy. So from 20% to 2.5%, that is at 87.5% nerf, which is a lot. We've talked about Starfire being busted. Like I know it's busted. It's way better than it should be. I'm not going to get on here and bitch and moan and cry about it. However, I feel like 87.5% might be much. Why couldn't we have went from like 20% to 5%? I'm hoping that they're going to realize that 2.5 makes it to where this is an exotic that's no longer good, and then maybe they bump it to 5%, maybe, and then that's kind of where it stays at. But saying that, we also have Armamentarium, which is one of my favorite Titan exotics. That its entire purpose is to give you 2 grenades. You still get your 2 grenades with this, so maybe this is just like a little bit better Armamentarium. Maybe that's kind of what they're aiming for, and that's fine. But good things don't last forever. So I just wish they told us that we were in the good old days when we were in the good old days. So
yeah, I guess you could probably hold out for a buff if they ever put an ornament out for it.
yeah. We'll see.
All right.
So I believe. So let's. I just have a little something here.
Mm-hmm.
Like reading all these. So we had 5, 11. We had somewhere like probably 17 or 18, maybe even 20 exotics that were touched here, and it just makes you realize like we have way too many exotics that we're having to tone these down. But that's what happens when they have to add like 6 total with every major expansion, then 3 total with every season. So we're getting what is that, like 15 like a Destiny year or something like that, or 15, 18 maybe. So that's it's a little much, and I feel like we have too many exotics, and I wish that we only had like 20 exotics per character class, because then they could really be better than what we're dealing with now.
Yeah, there for a while, Bungie just took the stance of an exotic was almost just another branch to the subclass tree. Almost is like how they changed the subclass was through exotics and not from actually changing the tree. But then we had all the 3.0s happen, and it's kind of like blew it out of the water of what was so great, you know. So, like, I mean, to me, like, these are nice, but I don't see the meta changing too much for hunters. Like, it's Girl Falcons and starter scales for PvE, for most PvE things, and then you can get into some more niche things. And on Titan, I'm still using harder and most light, because I just kind of like, all right, give me the exotic I can turn my brain off on.
Yeah.
I feel like Luna factions are going to come back pretty strong here for the Warlocks.
All right, so that's going to take us over to the TWAB. Sam brought it to us this week. So she gave us a little bit of an update here of the current standings of Guardian games. So this was yesterday. First place is Titans, second place Warlocks, and third place Hunters. I think this is no surprise at all. Everybody knows that the meta people that are normally playing Hunter have moved over to Titan for a couple of seasons now, because Titans have been the most busted in PvP. And that's still going on right now.
Yeah.
There's like a few communities that's raising money. First place is Popcorn, second place Traveler's Chosen, third place Nexus, and fourth place Ursaid. Yeah, and then with that, they'll win some stuff, let alone your winnings. So if you complete Guardian games, you unlock stuff in the Bungie store that you can go get. Guardian Games Pennant, Champ Title Pin, and 2023 Guardian Games Medal. Fox, are you going to be celebrating your Guardian Games triumph and getting on there and purchasing anything?
I don't think so, man. I haven't even bought anything with my silver. I had the same amount of silver that I started the season with.
Wow.
Haven't even and I don't even have enough bright dust right now to buy the Guardian games. Like Sep. And
That's impressive.
I have 800 silver. I think it's 15 for the set. So like I'm roughly $10 away. And I'm like, I don't think I like it enough to spend $10 to get the rest of it. So I haven't even. This might be the first set for the Warlock I don't own.
Wow. History in the making, folks.
There we go.
All right, Chad. We got a little teaser trailer. What's going on here?
Oh boy. Well, we hear Sloan again. We see her obviously in the picture. And we see underwater. Now, whether that's fully underwater, or we're talking, just the beginning of a mission and then that's it for the rest of the game. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm hopeful. It would be pretty wild if we got an entire season of just underwater, or even 50% of the season, like the missions are underwater. That'd be wild. That'd be unreal. I would never expect that whatsoever out of Bungie. Seeing Ryan's face, I'm with Ryan on this one. I'm believing it is like an opening mission. You load in, you go into the water, and then you're out of it for the rest of the season. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that there's a couple of things. Yeah, we see Sloan. We see her arms are slightly taken a little bit there. We see mermaids, and then we see a Leviathan eyeball. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure there's gonna be another thing that comes out next TWAB, which we'll talk about a little bit more.
What do you mean a Leviathan eyeball?
Leviathan, dude,
How
it's
you
a
know? How you
big
know it's
eyeball.
Leviathan?
Well, people have
How
always
you know
talked
it's
about
not
the
a worm?
Leviathan on Titan. Worms don't have eyes like that. We've seen lots of worms. That's like a regular looking eye. The worm eyes are just like green orbs.
Okay.
We've seen the mother of all worms, and we've seen worms, and they all have similar eyes.
Okay. So Fox, are you excited about this Camino based excursion we're going to do next season?
If you think there is a chance that we are going to be going underwater and be able to swim and shoot stuff underwater, you have forgot what game you are playing. We are way too far into this game for them to add something like that, and for it to just be the second season of an expansion year. Like, you need to check yourself if you think that's going to happen. The only thing that we are going to see is a cutscene of us swimming through the water, coming up to like a landing area, and we're going to be dripping with water, and maybe we shake ourselves off, and then it transitions us into our normal gameplay of us going through like a submarine or something like that. There is a 0% chance that we are going to be swimming underwater and shooting things underwater. It is not going to happen. Do not expect it to happen. Do not get your hopes up, or you will only be disappointed, because happiness is a function of expectations. It is not going to happen.
So they gave us a couple of pictures there. It's kind of like the seasonal armor set, it looks like. Or is that going to be the Eververse armor set, Chad? I'm not.
That's the reverse armor.
Okay.
That's 100% the ornaments. Yeah. The armor's
Oh no,
probably
that's
going to be like
that's a
scaly.
season 21 season pass armor.
Let's just say that's the season pass armor, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the season pass yeah, the ornaments.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then,
because the way they work it is the ornaments are like cooler versions of the seasonal stuff typically, or in theme. So like this season was the only one that varied quite a lot. Where it was like you had the regular seasonal armor was Techian based, and then the ornaments were Queensguard based. Most of the time it's just fancier versions of the previous. But I mean, I hope that they keep that trend going where they're two very different sets. I don't know.
so this next picture here is kind of like you're underwater. There's a hole in the ocean floor that's shining down, and this is like some fallen debris that's under in Titan maybe somewhere. So if this is the underwater mission, maybe it's not a mission. Maybe this is the central hub that we go to. Maybe that's underwater. That's just like, it's not combat. It's just a, hey, you can be underwater.
Like what I'm saying is that picture, we're loading in outside the doors and we're walking into the doors and going up into air, and then we're in the regular mission. Like
Okay.
that's all we're gonna do is like a spacewalk, but in the water. Like that's what's gonna happen.
All right. So next season, the ritual weapon that go along with everything.
Hold on. Back this up.
Okay.
So you don't think that the next season hub is going to be accessible from the helm?
I mean, it's most likely going to be in the helm. I mean, it's just like,
Okay.
it's just
So you think like one wing of the helm is underwater and the rest of the helm is in outer space? Is that what we're saying?
I think this is just a hub that's actually going to be at Titan. But
isn't the water around Titan methane gas? Chad, what's the lore on that?
I know you get liquid
super
methane,
upset. Yeah, liquid methane. So I guess we're just gonna smell like farts the entire season, I guess.
And be frozen solid.
I mean,
because that stuff's cool.
yeah. One shot with sunshot, and it just lights up the whole planet.
Yeah,
the next sun.
Yeah, everything just blows up.
What if that's like an Easter egg for the dungeon that's going to be set, and the methane is Sunshot
just
does
wipes
like
everybody.
triple damage. Yeah.
All right. We'll see what happens. We'll try to keep those expectations low, just as the old Silver Fox recommends. Now, which roll playlist, weapon-wise, we're going to have an aggressive frame scout rifle. So this is going to be, what's the one that's, is it, I forgot the name of it. I just don't like it that much compared to Dead Man's Tale. Dead Man's Tale just feels good. And the other one from the dungeon doesn't. But now you don't need to have a dungeon in order to get a legendary version of Dead Man's Tale. The base version comes with like a platinum coating almost on that. I think it looks pretty great. And then you have the 3 ornaments again with, I think, Crucible looking best out of them. Maybe Vanguard give it a run.
I thought it was definitely either Crucible or the Gambit, but I thought Crucible was pretty obvious. And I think a long arm was the scout rifle, right?
Yeah, that's it.
You can get like subsistence and explosive on it. That was the best roll I ever got, I think.
Pretty good.
All right. On May 26th, that is Memorial Day weekend, the start of it. That's when the new the new dungeon is going to drop at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So 1 o'clock Eastern for best time. And so it's a Friday, so most people probably getting off work, coming home, and getting their dungeon teams ready to take on that. I'm sure we'll be doing it Friday night at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I am not taking off work for the dungeon, so it's going to be a Friday night dungeon night, and I'm just going to go ahead and say, guys, I haven't spoke to you about this, but there's a pretty good chance this is going to be what the gambling corner is about the Thursday night before. It's going to be time spent or deaths in the dungeon, if I had to guess.
All right, last thing in the TWAB is we're going to have a Eververse recommendation page. So am I taking this as in, like, if you're inspecting a Guardian and maybe some of the ornaments they have or the gun ornaments they have, because you've seen it that many times, it's not showing up and recommended for you because you viewed it that many times? So they're going to try to entice you more to buy the stuff that you're seeing other people use?
They're trying to make Ryan a whale.
I think Giovanni did that, but way before Bungie. But if I had to guess, this is going to be more of, it's going to pick the top 10 purchased items that you do not own and just put those in front of you.
Okay.
That would be my guess of how they do it.
Do you like this type of change for somebody that likes to steal them? Okay.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, if it's going to put the stuff that more people like, I wish that there was a top 10 and a bottom 10. That way the bottom 10 would be like, oh, a lot of people don't have this one. Like top 10% owned and bottom, or the top 10 of percent owned and then the bottom 10 of percent owned. And then that would be, if they were smart, they would do that because people want to have stuff that nobody else has.
Yeah.
So if you put the bottom 10 of percentage owned, people are probably gonna buy that. Not as much as the top 10%. Like if they have like a dope emote in there, people are gonna buy that, right? But if they have like the bottom 10 for like weapon ornaments, people are gonna be like, man, nobody else has this weapon ornament. I can use this weapon that's meta or that I like for this loadout, and people aren't gonna. It's gonna be different than everybody else's. So I would use that against the player base myself.
You know, what if they ever made it as in like it was more of a market scheme to where like, oh, the more popular this ornament came, the more it cost, and then like the less
like a Counter-Strike black market situation.
To where I mean, this is price gouging, but still, I think it would be interesting to watch how the community would react to something like that, and the people would just always buy it because it looks cool. Like, could you imagine they put like an actual all black shader and then how like the price would just like skyrocket of having people buying it.
Be like a stock market,
Yeah.
like the Bungie stocks.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. Maybe that's something they'll put in D3 when it comes out.
An
So,
actual market, yeah, that'd be great.
or just give us an auction house. You know, they try to pretend this game's an MMO. Give us a market like an auction house, like an MMO has.
All right, that is it.
What if they only had? What if you could sell your contest mode emblem? What if you could sell it?
Okay.
How much
Okay.
would you sell it for?
Yeah.
Like everything has a price. If somebody
Sure.
was to offer you $50 for that emblem, I'd probably $50. You probably got me like, okay,
I'm
like
listening.
here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Maybe
And then
the
Bungie takes 10% or something, like since they
Yeah.
host it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Uncle Sam
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe with the marathon extraction shooter, they do that.
Right. I'd say there's a good chance. That there's been man, I've been hearing, so I listen, this is probably not the right place for this. I listen to a lot of like other just video game broad topic podcasts because I drive a lot for work. And one of them is a very PlayStation centric, and they were talking there must be a lot of behind the scenes information about Bungie and what they're doing that is just not quite out yet to a leaker that leaks it to everybody, because they were talking like in absolutes and like in codes that I couldn't quite pick up. So, but it must be leaking out a little to like the super inside PlayStation people. So don't be surprised if you see some stuff on it, and maybe in the next month or so.
You mean like a teaser trailer or just like an announcement?
No. Like somebody talking about what they're hearing, maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, we know if it was actually Destiny based, it would be leaked. So,
Well, I don't know. Now that EK's gone, we don't know. We don't know what the leak situation is going to look like moving forward.
all right. So that takes us to 3 likes and 3 dislikes. So for me this week, I was kind of just doing stuff solo. I was like, dang, Fox wants to run these master Excalibur missions. I was like, I need to get caught up with that quest and make it to where all I have to do left is to run the master versions. And if you're doing Excalibur just to straight get it done, it's not that bad. Now, when you take into account of like doing the puzzles part where like, oh, I need to go shoot this, I need to go guard with Excalibur through this and go dunk this ball, that's when it gets annoying to me and tedious. So my like and dislike this weekend is based around that. My like, if I'm just going to clear that mission just to straight up clear it, it's actually a decent mission to get done. But the dislike is just how long the little puzzles take.
My like this week is that I am still having the urge to play. My dislike is that it's not quite as much as it's been previously, and I absolutely despise the Guardian games. It has given me literally zero incentive to do anything outside of Supremacy. Like, I probably wouldn't have messed with Supremacy. I've been having a decent time in there, just like solo queuing into Supremacy. I wish that was I hope that's going to be a permanent game mode at some point.
For Ryan's dislike reason, that's pretty much a like for me. I like that I don't feel like I need to do it, but I do it for check boxes. But my like is definitely that I am done essentially with Destiny for the next week or so. If these guys want to play something, I'm happy to hop on and do it, but I don't feel pressured to do it. Like, literally all I have is a couple bounties and some stuff, and that's like 2 hours of game time that I need to put in over the next week and a couple days. These guys want to do some Excalibur, I'm in. It's gonna be a fun time hanging with the boys, but not feeling like I need to do any check boxes is always nice for me. But my dislike is that the double non-crucible always lands on Iron Banner because of the way that that's run. Luckily enough, the seasonal weapons are glaive, so I don't care. But I'm missing 2 out of the 3 ornaments. This is the first seasonal weapon that I'm like, I don't care about the ornaments. I don't. First time. Most of the time, I'm at 2.5 to 3 resets per season for all of those, for Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit. Most of the time, I get to the 3rd reset. But this time, I barely reset Vanguard twice. I reset Gambit once and then stopped. And I'm halfway through the second reset, or halfway through to the second reset on Crucible, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm done. Like, I know that they did that on purpose to make people play Iron Banner and whatever the double also is that week, but it's nonsense, dude. Like, it's horrible. Like, the only reason I'm able to get the double, the Crucible one done, the double for the ornament, is because it used to land on Iron Banner. So it made it a lot easier. It made me sit in Iron Banner more because I'm like, I'm getting double Crucible. So I'm going to sit here for as long as I can. I have more incentive to play Iron Banner because I'm also getting a bunch of Crucible rep. But it's not like that, and it is annoying.
So just so all the listeners know, Chad, what's your season pass rank? Like 230, 240, somewhere around there?
Yeah, I think I want to say 248, I think. I haven't hit 250 yet.
So you're much higher than the casual, and this is also an expansion season because I'm at like 215 or so, and I think I saw last time I looked, Jared was around 230, you were around 240, so this is just a heavy playtime season for us with the new expansion, and we're still only at that amount. It's pretty wild.
Didn't they say? I think they might be changing that up next season. So I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks. But I think that the way that we get the ornaments is going to change. All right, next up is Gambling Corner. What's going on this week, Fox?
All right. So current standings, Chad is at 8,000 glimmer. Jared is at 8,500 glimmer. I am at 10,500 glimmer. All of us need 2 more legendary Avalons in order to get the last 2 catalysts that we need. So we decided that before the next podcast, we are going to run 2 legendary Avalon missions. And the Gambling Corner is going to be a 2,000 ante from everybody. And it is going to be whoever guesses the closest to the total amount of deaths. So we'll start with Chad and then go to Jared and then go to myself. That is reverse glimmer order. This pretty much sets it to where winner takes all, by the way.
Well, I know that they did make the changes, but I haven't been in there since the legend changes were made. And I know that we had a ton of fun in there. Sheesh, for 2 runs, us going in there having done it once. I mean, I guess 32.
It's a pretty good number. I was thinking in the low 30s also. But I'm going to go a little bit above that, and I'm going to go with no, I'm going to go low. I'm going to go 27.
Man, Jared, that was like right where I was hoping you were going to go over because I was just going to go one under Chad. So the number I had in my head was 23. I'm trying to decide. The smart thing for me to do would be to take 26 and just completely trap Jared in that window and do that. But I'm going to take Let's do 24, King Griffey Jr. That's going to be my number. And so I'll basically have 0 through 25, I guess, technically, on that. And I'm just going to hope that hits, and we will go from there. I just got a message from Dark Haze. He says, getting ready to go work out. Great show, but I am going to go with 31 deaths. So let's just make a note for Dark Haze at 31, and if that hits, then we'll buy him some silver or something if that hits.
Okay.
If that hits exact.
All right, Fox, I think we'll probably be streaming that when we go to do those.
Yeah. I'll make sure we stream it. I imagine those will be 2 runs in the same night, unless we just really crap the bed that first run. I would say. I think all of us have all the secrets, right? We're not dependent upon any of that.
I got to check trials, but yeah, I'll probably just do it solo if I was doing it anymore.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that takes us into the lore. What's going on this week, Chad?
Oh boy, we're finishing off we're starting and then finishing next week off the last lore book of the season, Sightlines. It's a story from Devrim's point of view this time. Instead of talking about Hawthorne's past, we're going into Devrim's present. So we're reading 2 chapters this week and 2 chapters next week, just to finish off the season. So the first chapter, The Great Distance. Devrim K leaned out the broken window of the Trostland Church and fixed his eyes on the sky. The traveler and the witness were up there somewhere, with most of the vanguard and all the fighter pilots the last city could muster. The comms were filled with static. All Devrim knew for sure was that they were fighting for their lives. The orbital combat was barely visible in the daylight, an errant streak of weapons fire, the twinkle of an explosion from the ground. The conflict was silent and beautiful, the death of his friends sparkling as gently as the light on long-dead stars. Devrim tried and failed to shake the thought from his mind. There was a faint corona of fire, and the exosphere shimmered with a cloud of sparkling debris. It was impossible for Devrim to tell if he was looking at the remains of the pyramids or the traveler. Wire rifle fire crackled against the stone wall of the old church, and he cleared the field of threats with 8 precise shots. Devrim steadied himself against the window frame and pulled the pair of binoculars from his vest. He focused on a single distant speck that flashed in the sunlight as it tumbled to earth. He held his breath as the debris grew closer, and he was able to make out a strangely clean-cut slice of the fuselage bearing the Vanguard livery. Devrim felt his hands go numb. "Mayday," he said, into the EDZ comms channel, his voice somehow calm and clear. "Our birds are coming down." Far below, his binoculars shattered against the Trostland cobblestones. Chapter 2, Count Back. Crow sighed. "You ever going to fire that thing?" The crack of the sniper round rattled off the tree line. Crow squinted at the small sapling he'd pointed out at the target. Devrim's shot had split it in half. "Nice shot," Clint said cheerfully. Devrim gave the ghost a polite nod. Crow rolled his eyes. "All right," Crow said, ignoring Devrim's amused smile. "One more for you." The two of them had agreed on this rocky plateau for their little competition. They began with makeshift target dummies posted out of various distances. When that quickly became monotonous, Glint helpfully agreed to transmat the targets into the air. Eventually, they simply started calling out challenges to each other. Devrim took ages to line up his shots, but he hadn't missed yet. The man was frustratingly efficient. Devrim stepped down from the boulder he was using as a perch. "I don't know that you're the best marksman," Devrim said, "but you make a fine spotter." "Ouch," Crow grinned. "Try to pick something difficult this time, old-timer." Crow crouched into a firing position, bracing his rifle against his shoulder. He heard footfalls on the gravel nearby and felt at once the peculiar sensation of stepping sidelong into an old recollection. The past superimposed itself over the present like a veil. Another hillside, another target. Crow glanced aside to find Devrim watching him silently, patiently. If Crow decided not to explain, he suspected Devrim wouldn't say a word about it. They could just get on with the game. In My past life. I had a friend who could give us both a run for our money. We did this sort of thing all the time. Crow smiled to himself. I think I missed it. I think Prince Uldren had many friends, Devrim said. But then again, you're not terrible company at present, so I suppose it follows. Crow let out a startled laugh. As compliments go, I'll take it. Devrim turned away to face the rocky slope. There's house dust symbol on the scrap of metal out there, just shy of the old transmission tower. Crow thought for a moment. First one to land 3 shots gets 2 points. Playing to your strengths, Sir Crow. Devrim was already lining up his sights. Just keeping things fun, Sir K. Chapter 3, Thyrsics. Devrim heard the skiff break through Earth's atmosphere before he saw it. From his elevated post in the church steeple, the whine of fallen engines was unmistakable. The aging scout put down his thermos and turned off his datapad, which displayed the week's crucible highlights. He sighted the skiff through the scope of his Golden Age rifle and unmuted his comms. All parties, this is Devrim. I've just spotted a skiff entering the atmosphere 2 clicks north of Trostland. Looks like Salvation colors. Do you copy? Yeah, I see it. Crow's languid reply betrayed an exhaustion Devrim could relate to. Looks like they're headed for what's left of the checkpoint. The Guardian had dismantled a Shadow Legion blockade during a rescue mission earlier in the week, and the area was littered with armor, weapons, and scrap, all common targets for fallen scavengers. Looks like mid-sized scav crew, Crow continued. What do you think? Devrim recognized a note of reluctance in the hunter's voice. As long as they stick to scavenging, I say we leave them be, Devrim replied. But let's keep eyes on. I don't want any more surprises. Copy that, Crow replied with audible relief. I'm on recon. I'll keep you posted. Half hour later, Devrim's comm squawked back to life. He roused himself from an anxious, semi-alert doze that pervaded his long days. Something strange here, Devrim. Crow sounded intrigued. One of the scavs slipped away while the others weren't looking. A dreg. He's headed your way. Roger that, Devrim replied. I'm in position awaiting contact. Stand by. Devrim nestled behind his scope, sighting the northern tree line. After a few minutes, he spotted rustling bushes. His crew just realized he's gone. The vandal in charge is yelling his head off. Think I just learned some new Elixni vocabulary, the hunter chuckled. Devrim watched the dreg emerge from the tree line. He disengaged the safety on his rifle and sighted the scavenger's head. But something stayed his hand. Crow, this chap, he's unarmed, Devrim whispered. He's got his hands up and he's walking right towards me. You always were a popular guy. Must be the accent. Devrim squinted over the top of his rifle. The dreg spotted him and started chittering. He's shouting something. Listen. Devrim went silent and allowing Crow to pick up the dreg over comms. He's saying, I am Thyrsics. Peace to the great machine. Honor to the Kell of Light. Crow translated. He's defecting. The scrawny dreg knelt in the rubble beneath the church tower, malnourished and frightened. Devrim felt a lump in his throat. The dreg reminded him of the scared kids who had volunteered during the Red War. Devrim took his finger off the trigger. I'll be damned, he said to himself, voice thick with emotion. Let's bring that poor bastard in. And then we'll finish that next week. I'll try to. I'm glad that these boys were muted during that, so they didn't chuckle through part of that. But man, it's hard to read all that after a release. Woo! I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted to last night.
Those things. Like, I wonder how much sleep Chad got last night with that release.
I thought you were talking about coming.
Okay.
All right. So into the mailbag. Question number 1. Do we need a Destiny 3 with all of the downtime and server issues?
Oh. I mean, I want a Destiny 3, but not because of that. So no. Destiny 3 because of downtime and server? No. They'll have same issues. That the same people working on the same game on the same servers, the same thing's going to happen.
Yeah, I say Destiny 3, not right now, but definitely in the future.
Yeah, exactly what these guys said. Not for these particular reasons. I think it'll definitely make a difference, but not for these reasons only.
Question 2. Do you expect Season of the Deep to be better, worse, or on par with the current season?
Oof. I mean, I'm hopeful better. Um, Interestingly, for me in particular, the seasonal storyline started out real strong and it ended quickly. Like it ended real fast. And I was like, man, I was really hopeful. This story started out really cool. And I hope it starts like that for next season and just keeps going. Um, so I'm hoping it's at least the same level, just for longer. That's all I want out of it. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it'll be a little better.
I'm trying to keep my expectations low, but historically, usually the second season of the year is the best season. But because when I think back, I think of that season, the season of Dawn, with the Saint 14 and the Sun Obelisk thing. That was like one of my favorite seasons during, like, looking back. So I really hope. I think it's gonna be better, and I'm probably gonna be disappointed, but I think it's gonna be better.
I personally think it'll be marginally better, but not anything to go down in Mount Rushmore of Destiny seasons. Question 3, is the last right going to be something to look forward to? I hope so, man. I think it has a cool name. I imagine it's basically going to be it's going to be pretty much a legendary version of the Dead Man's Tale is kind of what I'm hoping for, and I might be getting my hopes up, but I think it is going to be something to look forward to.
I'm of the scouts just kind of fill a role. Like this season they were unstoppable, but I was really using Leviathans the whole time for unstoppable, so I wasn't really using scouts. But the Tex Mechanica guns are so different and unique that they're really fun to use, regardless of whether they're amazing or not. So it'll be cool to have another one. Another one. I wish it was a different Tex Mechanica gun. I don't think they filled up all the archetypes yet.
Definitely not.
We have shotgun, machine gun, scout, sidearm, hand cannon. We just don't have like a Mechanica auto rifle. They do old school style, so auto rifle would make sense. And then I think that'd be the last gun that they would be able to make in like a Western style. But yeah, no, I mean it'll be a fun gun, regardless of whether or not it's amazing.
It's going to be a scout rifle. You probably have 15, 20 of them sitting in your vault. It's really not going to be anything.
Question 4. What are your thoughts of already being at the pinnacle cap for next season?
I don't like it. They've completely changed what Destiny is, and this is probably the nail in the coffin.
It'll give me more time to cry in the Empire during the week, because I won't be having to grind as much.
Yeah, so I think it's going to probably decrease my playtime. If I had to guess, maybe not decrease my playtime by a whole lot, but it's definitely going to decrease my playtime on non-warlock characters, because that's going to be the issue. Is now instead of running like 3 raids a week, we're going to be running 1 raid a week, probably, maybe 2, but probably 1 if I had to guess. We might run the dungeon 3 times a week at first to try to get whatever red borders and stuff come out of there, maybe chase the exotic a bit, but overall probably bad for the game. Just this game's moving more towards the casual player. That's how I feel. Maybe that's not the right way to feel, but that's how I feel. Question 5, favorite Halloween candy?
So I have a question about what is Halloween candy. Is it just fun size of the candy bars?
So
That's not where we got when I was from. We only got full size or king size bars where I'm from.
this is the correct answer,
Halloween
in my
themed.
opinion.
No, that's wax. That's a bag of wax.
No, it's not. If you buy Brax, if you buy the correct brand of candy corn, it is not wax. I'll fight you on this. There are very few things I'll fight about. This is one of them. Brax, if you want to sponsor us, I will gladly take candy corn as payment. These come in 2.5-pound bags. I buy 10 pounds, sometimes 15 pounds, whenever they come out, and then I space them out throughout the year.
So is it
You
like
should probably like legit vacuum seal those just so you can keep them free.
They
for
are.
longer.
They are.
Well,
They
there's
do have
still,
a.
like, there's
They
still
do have a
air in there.
Ziploc.
Oh, okay.
So, but if you only open them as you eat them, you're all right.
You would know better than I do. I'm just making a comment. I'm
Yep.
sorry. I apologize.
I'm trying to think back because like actually when I went trick or treating, like what candy was I looking most forward to that I got? And I mean, to me, it's like it's either the fun size Kit Kats or like the fun size Reese cups. I'm always a chocolate over candy, over like sugary candy.
Yeah, the little Reese's cups were delicious. I will say that. When going for trades, people tried to always go for Reese's cups.
And I googled like what is Halloween candy, and it was like candy apple stuff. And I just like I didn't know candy apple was considered a Halloween
Who can out
candy.
a candy apple?
How
That's
many
like
candy
at
apples
a
you eating in the
party
summer,
or-
dog?
0.
Exactly.
It's more of a fall in general thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
can understand
like,
that it is more of a Halloween thing, but nobody hands out a candy apple. Like you might make them at home with like a family and just like have fun, but like I've never been handed a candy apple in a bag for Halloween. That's a weird.
man, I
that's
would
a
hate
weird-
to be born in. I'd hate to be in California. That's all I'm saying.
You want to be handed an apple versus like a king size Snickers?
You ever had
bar?
a candy apple, dog?
I have, yeah. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that seems like an odd thing.
I didn't know if they let you guys have like caramel out there on the West
I was
Coast.
just talking
thought
about a
maybe-
Snickers, man. Like
I think candy apples are overrated. Just give me a sliced up apple and tip caramel in it. Like I don't want a candy apple.
yeah, that's good. That's a little better.
Give
It's
me a
less chewy.
slice of apple and dip caramel in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Apple dippers, dog.
All right, here's the riddle this week. If 2 is company and 3 is a crowd, what are 4 and 5?
So 4 is if there's company and so 5 is a crowded company. But 4 is too much company.
Chad?
I'm not gonna guess on this one. I don't know. My brain can't figure out where you're trying to go with it.
All right, 4 and 5 is 9, guys. Come on. I thought you guys would do better than that. All right,
Dumb.
so so saying that
That's not. There's no conventions leading to that being the answer. It's like,
It
hey,
says-
this is called this name. This is called this name. Oh, it's a group of crows is called a murder.
what's
It's like that
What-
makes sense.
what's the question say? What are 4 and 5? 4 and 5.
No, it's
That's a-
leading you to giving
that's an
names,
addition.
and it's doing
No.
that deceptively. Yeah, it is.
No.
It says two's.
That is why
if
there are
two's company
there
and
are
three's a
commas.
crowd.
There are commas there.
Yeah, but it's like you're defining 2 and 3. So
Yeah, exactly.
and you
Doesn't
break down
matter.
4
On
and
purpose.
you break down
On
5.
It does matter. You're doing that.
It says
on purpose,
what are
which is
4
why
and
it's a
5?
riddle.
That is.
I'm
that
not
is the
saying it's
question.
not a riddle. I'm saying it's dumb.
It's like
Listen, if it was so dumb, if you guys weren't so dumb, maybe you would have
Plus
got it
4
right.
and 5 isn't 9. That's 4 plus 5. 4 and 5 is 45. Squish
Nope.
them together.
what are 4
It's a
those
4 and a
numbers?
5.
If you're what are 4 and 5 those numbers?
Listen, I tell you what. I want everybody to tweet in at Destiny CC Pod. Tell us what you guys think. The answer is 9. It's clearly 9, but they were too dumb to figure it
It's
out.
clearly
this week.
9, says this guy. Jesus.
You've been
I think this is
listening
the most heated he's got us all.
to Conqueror's Corner, a Destiny podcast, which you heard in our new intro music, thanks to Link at Link of Time G on Twitter. I'm gonna let these other 2 goofballs sign off here.
Well, Chad, 4 and 5 when added together make 9. But at the end of the day, I'm glad to have you 3. Us 3 together.
I'm just not gonna be mean right now and say see you next week.
I feel like there was a fat joke coming. Go Cats. Love you guys.